Welcome back to Hobby Jogger Elite, here for another workout. Hopefully a long run workout today, but it is early here on the weekend. Getting it in early, not really by choice. Forecast went from being super appealing, perfect running weather, to there may be a flood warning here in not so long. So that was a nice kick in the pants to get me out the door. Hopefully gonna be a solid long run workout today, and hopefully we beat some of this rain, but I have a feeling that may very well not be the case. But this is I wouldn't call it a fitness test, but it'll certainly be slightly informative. This is a slightly abridged version of the workout that essentially functioned as my peak workout for my most recent marathon training block. During that training block, I did this workout in the middle of a 22.5 mile long run, where over the course of the entire run, I averaged 6:50 a mile, so pretty much bang on sub 3 pace. And this is the workout that gave me a lot of confidence that I could not only break 3 in the marathon, but maybe even go a little faster. And I did. This was a great indicator for marathon fitness for me. Half marathon fitness, kind of similar. Doing the same thing here today, just with part of it cut off. Bit of an edited version. So I don't know if it's a Canova workout. Might be a Canova style workout, but it is a warm-up followed by 5K at a marathon-ish effort. 1K float, 4K, 1K float, 3K, 1K float, so on down to 1K. And the idea, as the reps get a little bit shorter, you get a little bit faster. When I did this for that peak marathon workout, I went 6K, 1K float, 5K. So the one extra working rep, 6K in length, which is about 3.72 miles. I ran the 6K, 5K, 4K at a marathon effort, and then did the 3K, 2K, 1K at like a half marathon down to threshold, down to like a 10K effort. So I'm gonna try to do the same today. I'm gonna stick to marathon-ish effort, smooth and steady for the 5 and 4K, and then try to speed up for the 3K, 2K, 1K, and I'll try to keep those K floats steady. Last time I did this workout, I did it in the Alpha Fly version 1s, which I've had my best race performances in across the board, but I feel like the Adios Pro 3s sort of complement my running form and my mechanics the best. So I always have a bit of an adjustment period when I get back into running in the Alpha Fly 1s, but I feel like the Adios Pro 3, not as propulsive or bouncy of a shoe, but a much smoother, natural feeling shoe.
Alright, the previous footage was at least slightly usable, but in reviewing and editing this section, completely unusable with the sounds the Insta360 Go is producing because of this wind. But I'm just kind of yapping on about the first rep, which was the 5K section, which I ran in 1950-something, about 6:25 pace per mile. So yeah, let's see if any of this other footage is usable.
All right, 4K section is done. Clocked in at 6:22 per mile. So a couple ticks faster than the 5K section per mile pace. Currently on the next Easy K float. I can definitely feel the hills starting to get to me a little bit. I'll be eager to see the difference in elevation gain for this workout as opposed to the one I did back in October of 23. So that's no doubt, I think, gonna play a role in the 3K, 2K, 1K now. But two biggest rep sections are done. The majority of the at pace distance is done, so really just got to bring it home at this point. But I am feeling better than I thought I would with this workout on the calendar. Keep it rolling. All right, the workout is done. Didn't film between those last 3 reps, just kept it going. So the 3K was 6:13 per mile, so like a low threshold half marathonish type of effort. 2K was 6:02 per mile, so pushed it a little bit more on that one, still kept it smooth. Then the 1K gave it a little bit of gas, ran somewhere in the high 330s. I think it was like 5:40 something a mile, so actually closed really well. Isn't directly and perfectly comparable to the 22-mile workout that I did, because at this point where the working section was done back in October when I did this workout, I think I was already at like 21 miles. I was closing out that last K at the 21 mile mark, whereas now I'm at 14 miles. So I'm gonna cool down a little bit, but really happy with that workout. Did not think I had that type of fitness right now, but things might be looking pretty good. So I'll do a direct comparison when I get back.
All right, so we are back home, nice and dry. Got Phoebe here for the post-workout analysis portion of the video. Very much so in need of her assistance. So I've got each of these workouts pulled up here on the Coros Training Hub, and I'll make sure to have each of them displayed on the screen. But the one from October 21st of 2023, which was the same workout that I did today, except it had a much longer warm-up and it had the extra 6K section, which preceded all of the working sections that I did for today's workout. Definitely was similar though when it came to the paces, and was actually a little bit slower when it came to some of those initial sections. So warm up was quite a bit quicker. Warmed up for 5 total miles at 7:15 average mile pace, whereas today I only warmed up for a little over 2 miles at a 7:43 average pace. That 6K section was at 6:36 per mile. It was 24 minutes and 33 seconds worth of work, an average heart rate of 158. Apart from that, like, heart rate was a little bit higher per section today, but like not an insane amount higher. The floats were definitely a little bit slower, but overall like a very similar workout. And then today actually indicates that I may be in a similar spot fitness-wise. So the 5K section for the October workout, again, 6:33 per mile. Today it was 6:25 per mile. A couple beats higher when it came to average heart rate, but the effort pace, because I was on such a hilly course today, 6:21. So like almost 15 seconds per mile quicker when it comes to effort pace. As my elevation gain for today for the whole workout over the course of 16 miles was 758 feet as opposed to 200 feet over 22.65 miles back in October. So like that is a massive, substantial difference, and you can tell that because the effort paces are very similar when it comes to each rep from the one back in October, whereas today the effort paces are, several seconds quicker. 5K, solid 8 seconds quicker. The 4K, 12 seconds quicker today. Again, average heart rate was 165, so a little bit higher there, but 6:21 per mile pace. 3K section back in October, 6:17 per mile. Today it was 6:13 per mile. 2K again back in October was 609 per mile. Today it was 602 per mile at pretty much the same heart rate. And then the 1K back in October to close out, which again, I was way later, way higher mileage, but ran 559 per mile, ran a 343K to close it out. And then today I ran a 335K at 546 per mile and felt very manageable, felt like I could have done another K rep and felt really, really good. What this tells me is, yes, while these workouts aren't completely comparable and don't completely line up together in terms of the total mileage, in terms of how much mileage I was running per week at that point in the marathon block, just a lot of different things. You can't completely line these up. But what it does tell me in terms of those working reps and working down and getting quicker with each one was I was just as, if not more, capable of doing that today with tougher conditions on a much hillier route. So, that definitely makes me more optimistic than I initially was, in this week leading up to this workout. Because while I do feel like I may not be quite as aerobically fit in a much like grander sense, I do feel like I'm in a similar spot fitness wise because, running 80 to 90 miles per week, double digit weeks in a row, I think I was like skirting the line of diminishing returns during that fall marathon training block where, yes, it was aerobically helpful that I was running that many miles, but at the same time, like, it comes at a cost. It comes at certain injuries, which I picked up. It comes at aches and pains and overall fatigue, whereas right now I'm still hitting the same paces in workouts and still doing really good workouts, but the overall volume is a little bit lower, which I think is keeping me a bit more fresh. So I don't know. All of the race predictors when it comes to assessing my current fitness at various race distances is pretty much lining up the same right now as it did during that marathon block and says I'm in like PB shape at pretty much every distance. I don't know how much stock to put into that, but this was definitely a confidence booster, and I feel like I'm in an okay spot heading into this half marathon. So we'll see how we're feeling here in the lead up over the course of the next month. But yeah, maybe we have a half marathon PB on our hands here. But it's everything I got for today. So we'll catch up soon. Peace.